Good
Good
evening and welcome back.
evening.
The day has come, finally. The day that we talk about one of my favorite sci-fi books, if not one of my favorite books of all time.
I can't say it. I can't say the title.
We'll be talking about Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Now, you just told me you've read the last 50 pages or so, like
Yes. Yes.
last minute, just before the recording.
Yeah, I kind of had to rush that a little bit because I was like, I got to get this done. So my ideas and my thoughts on the book probably aren't as fully formed as they normally are because
Well, at least yeah.
I haven't had time to really like decompress about it. I've only got my
No, that's right.
initial shock and awe at the book.
At least your plot, like in the memory, will be very fresh. Because,
That's true.
now mind you, I've read this book last year. Although I've watched the movie earlier this year, some of the scenes are a bit hazy, so you can definitely jog the memory.
I
Mm.
didn't realize you read it so long ago.
Yeah. I like this book so much. When I read it last year, and when I finished it, every time I see someone who's remotely interested in reading, I recommend the Project Hail Mary. Out of nowhere, like when I was working, I was just asking my colleague, "Oh, do you read?" Or like, have you heard of Project Hail Mary? Like, there's a movie coming out soon, and you gotta read this book now.
I do
And that's how I got
remember.
two of my colleagues into reading it. Or three, if it's including you.
I do remember you telling me for ages to read it, and I'm like, I don't really like sci-fi. It's not
Yeah.
my cup of tea, and just adamantly refusing to do it.
Yes. I never knew this day would come. Wow, we're
And
talking about Project Hail Mary for the next hour or two.
and you know what? It was great. It was really
Mm,
great.
it was, wasn't it?
I had a lot of fun.
Just a quick teaser. Did you like the book better or the movie better?
Oh, book better.
Yeah, same. Well,
Yeah.
we'll talk more about it later. I've got some interesting reading updates this week.
Oh, yes.
Do you want to go first?
I've been reading Project Hail Mary
Oh, okay.
by Andy.
All right. Fair enough. Because it's impressive. You finished that book within a week.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I love to read. I'll make time for it.
I wish I can read like you. Anyway, okay, then for me, so I don't know if you remember, but last week I mentioned The Elantris by Brandon
Yes.
Sanderson. I finished it.
How did it go? Did you enjoy it?
I did. Remember the term Sanderlanche I mentioned?
Yeah.
So it's definitely
Everything
there.
kind of
Yeah.
happens all at once right at the end?
And all those like quick change of POV in the last few chapters. It's like one paragraph by one paragraph, the POV changes, and then everything converges together.
Mm.
And all those mysteries and secrets and everything gets resolved. Now, because this was his debut, first novel, it wasn't as satisfying as his later books or more popular books, but it was still very, very good.
Why do you think it wasn't as satisfying?
I think I could tell that this wasn't written, like the prose and the whole plot wasn't as strong as his later books.
Maybe just
It's
a
like
little bit of inexperience.
yeah, I could tell, I could see that, and in postscript he did mention that, like, because the book I was reading was a later edition, which he's included some of the deleted scenes while he included when he was writing the draft, which was interesting because it's sort of like a alternate version
Mm.
of a whole chunk of a story, or a few chapters actually. And he did mention his prose and writing skill has improved over the years. So he knows that, but still, it doesn't make it any less satisfying.
Yeah.
Sanderlanche was still Sanderlanche. Maybe it wasn't a massive Sanderlanche, but it was still an avalanche. So
It was just
yeah,
it's just a little lanch.
yeah, mini lanche, mini Sanderlanche. No, but there's one thing I wanted to talk about was just briefly, because fantasy has a lot of subgenres.
Mm.
I don't know if you're aware. One of my favorite subgenres is hard fantasy. So I don't know if you've heard of the term hard sci-fi.
Uh.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right.
It sounds a little bit more than PG-13.
What? No, it's got nothing to do with any.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. So it means like realistic, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of scientific studies done, and coincidentally, today's book, Project Hail Mary, is also one of those hard sci-fi genres. And Brandon Sanderson is the master of hard fantasy.
Well,
So it's similar to hard sci-fi. Is the magic instead of science is meticulously designed and explained and explicitly mentioned within the book, like how it works, how it doesn't work, what makes it fail, what makes it better.
uh,
It's like a form of science, so to speak.
'cause it almost seems like an oxymoron to me to have that, like, realistic fantasy type thing, but the way that you're
Yeah,
explaining it makes sense. Like, they
yeah.
just
So
have very,
very believable way of using the magic.
yeah, and it's easily outlined how exactly it works.
So
That
it's
makes sense.
so the magic is a system. It's got rules. It has costs, limits, consequences, and the interesting thing is the readers are taught those rules well enough to solve problems alongside the characters.
Mm,
Magic behaves sort of like engineering in hard fantasies. Now, in
mm.
contrast, there's mythic or soft fantasy. One of the most popular soft fantasy novel is Tolkien.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so magic is deliberately unexplained. Nobody actually quantifies Gandalf. The mystery is the point, and explaining all those details in the magic would kill it.
Mm,
But hard fantasy is, yeah, I think it sort of reminds me of sci-fi as well in that aspect, because it has a very, very solid structure to the magic system.
mm. There's boundaries and limits to what you can and
There's
cannot
certain
do.
limitations. It's not just this mystical stuff. It can be explained why this certain magic works, why this, magic doesn't work. And yeah, and Brandon Sanderson is one of, I think, the only, or not only, but one of very few authors who executes it really well.
Hmm. See, that's interesting because I would have thought, like, at least for me personally, I
Mm.
know I would probably prefer a soft fantasy over a hard fantasy because I like it when there's just bits that aren't explained.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's nothing is better. Like neither is better. It's just a different subgenre. And Piranesi by Susanna Clark is also another example of soft fantasy.
Mm,
There's magical realism, but it's kind of soft fantasy because it doesn't explicitly explain what's going on, what's that magic, like how it's happening, all those things. It's
and
sort of
that's
in
part
the
of what I
background.
really loved about Piranesi is the fact that it wasn't really explained. It's kind of
Yeah, you're right.
left
Yeah,
up to
I agree.
imagination, and I really like that.
Mm-mm.
I like not having answers for everything.
Mm. But yeah, it is very satisfying when you read a hard fantasy and then you can see when everything clicks. Like, oh, this is why this happened,
Mm.
you know. But I'm not saying hard fantasy is objectively better than soft fantasy. It's just different genre. But I just want to mention it because Brandon Sanderson is a master of hard fantasy,
And that's what you
and I
tend to
thought
prefer.
mm, tend to prefer, but it depends on the author. But I brought it up because the book we're talking about is hard sci-fi.
Mm.
It's not a sci-fi where there's no fantastical element in the sci-fi.
No, it's all very, very, very
Very
rooted in reality.
correct. And it's not like a future in a few centuries. It could happen in this moment, or at least it's in near future. So everything seems realistic.
Hmm.
And whatever happens, there is a scientific reason behind it.
Yeah.
That's why I love this book.
Just to derail you a little bit. So what's mythic fantasy then?
Mythic fantasy.
Yeah, that's one of the ones you mentioned, right?
Oh, mythic slash soft fantasy. So they're sort of similar.
So it's
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
okay. I
yeah.
thought there was 3 categories there, and I'm like, "You better tell me what the other one
No,
is."
there's more than three. There are more than three. The other things I can think of is grimdark fantasy.
Grimdark.
Grimdark, the probably one of the most popular grimdark fantasies, George R. Martin's Game of Thrones,
Mhm.
where the book is defined by tone and moral texture. There's gray area in morality in characters. There's no certain good guys, bad guys,
Okay.
and also the tone is very grim, hence the name.
Yeah.
Very gory, very vivid description of what happens.
Mm,
And the magic there is also often rare and unknowable on purpose, just like soft fantasy.
that makes
So,
sense.
like in A Song of Ice and Fire or Game of Thrones, the magic is not the main focus of the show,
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
series. Yeah, it's just there, but that's not the whole point of the series.
Mhm.
And there are a lot more. Another genre I like is urban fantasy,
Mhm.
which you probably know by the name urban. It's set in urban, like modern world,
Yeah.
but there's a fantasy element in it.
Mhm.
There's cozy fantasy where it just feels cozy.
So what would you describe? Because on one of our earlier episodes, we obviously read "We'll Describe You a Cat," and that did have fantasy elements in it. What would
Correct.
you categorize that one as?
I will put that as magical realism,
Mm.
which is, I think, another subgenre of fantasy. So magical realism it's sort of like urban fantasy, where it's set in modern setting, but whatever that happens, it's sort of considered as a normal phenomenon. So
Okay.
it's still our real lives, our real world, just everybody doing their own stuff, but there is an element where it's not, where it's definitely fantastical,
Because that was
but
what I was
it's
gonna ask
yeah.
is, like, what's the difference between magical realism and urban fantasy? Because
Oh,
I'm like, those sound so similar.
I feel like urban fantasy is just mainly focusing on the setting. If the setting is modern world, it's urban fantasy. Magical realism is where okay,
Most
because
everything
urban
is
fantasy,
normal, there's just a sprinkle of fantasy in there.
yeah, that's how I would explain it. Because urban fantasy can, well, I think often has magic as its main focus.
Mm.
It is still fantasy, like straight on fantasy, but it's just set in modern world. Whereas magical realism it reads like normal contemporary novel that was set in 21st century, or whatever. But there is a certain magical element in it.
So it almost is like how much of the book is about the fantasy element.
That's how I would interpret it. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. So how many different genres of sci-fi are there?
Whoa. I don't know. I know there's hard sci-fi.
Mm.
There's a fantasy sci-fi, but I don't know I don't know any other subgenres of sci-fi.
Well, if there's a hard sci-fi, it implies the soft sci-fi.
Yeah, but I think soft sci-fi is sort of like a fantasy sci-fi
Oh gosh, it's
because
so
the all
confusing.
yeah, all the science is not explained explicitly in soft fantasies.
Mm.
And there's a space opera, which is just in a grander scale, like epic scale.
Almost like June?
Yeah, June. I think June. Yeah, definitely June is a space opera. It's one of
Mm.
the like quintessential space operas. Would be June. Would be June.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and also the other book I've just started reading today is Tender is the Flesh.
How many pages in are you?
I think 30 something pages.
What do you think so far?
Hey, I gotta tell you, I wasn't expecting it. Like I wasn't expecting this because man, like initially when you told me the premise, I thought it would be the book will be talking about the transition itself.
But no, it's fully
When the
established.
Yeah, everything's fully established and it's so disturbing.
It is.
And the first few chapters, you're in this going through what do you call it, a breeder
Mm,
facility,
mm.
and they're just describing human beings like
Like cattle.
animals, cattle, who they just breed
Mm.
to get the meat and the skin for whatever.
For consumption.
Man, it's so disturbing.
Isn't it? And the lengths that they go to try and dehumanize these people as well, so they don't have to
Yeah,
feel the emotions of what they're doing.
and it's definitely dystopian.
Oh, yeah.
It's first few chapters, and I'm like, holy shit! Is it okay if I continue reading this?
You don't have to continue reading it because it is extremely haunting, and it's a book that will
No, don't
stick with
get me
you
wrong.
forever.
I love it. I love it. I love the fact that it's so disturbing.
But are you gonna love it all the way through? That's my question.
I don't know. I do have one question though,
Mm.
just without spoiling me. When that transition happened, why wasn't vegetarian a thing?
That's never explained.
Oh, so it's not explained. It's just not
I
mentioned
think
at
it's
all.
I think it's just implied that the grade of humanity, they didn't wanna give up on completely eating meat.
Jesus, like when I was reading, I was like, why can't everybody just become vegetarian?
Exactly.
For reference, The 10 Days of Flesh by Augustina Pesterica. It's about when there's virus infected all the animals, so people had to rely on human meat.
The virus rendered all of the animal meat unconsumable.
Mm.
So instead of becoming vegetarians, people were like, all right, we'll just start eating us, I guess.
And like I said, I thought initially the book was about how people sort of transition from like the advent of the virus.
Mm.
They start bit by bit experimenting with human flesh, eating it, the cannibalism and everything. But everything's already established, even from the beginning of the book.
Yeah, it's a full system. Like it's been that way for a while as well. So it doesn't even give you the chance to kind of adjust to the setting. It's just kind of throws you into it.
And that breeding facility where they keep people
Yeah.
in cages, and the scene where the pregnant women,
Mm.
I shouldn't mention it. I don't want to make this episode so gory, but man,
Yeah, it's a really hard read. It kind of makes you think about your relationship with the consumption of meat as well.
but I've never thought of it that way, like putting humans in there like cattle.
Mm,
It's, I think the author got such a refreshing premise to work on.
yeah, and it does raise the question of, you know, what level of sentience do we draw the line between food
Mm.
and companion?
But I am very excited to continue reading.
I'm
I
so
love it.
excited to hear your thoughts about it as well.
I love it. It's, yeah. I don't think I think it's one of the books that I won't be able to put down again.
Well, it is a fairly short read as well.
Yeah.
It's not super long, but I'm just excited to see what your response will be when you finish it. And I think it goes very well with that Amazon haul that you just showed me of all your new
Yeah.
books of just things with
Yeah.
really weird premises, just strange WTF books,
Yeah. The WTF genre.
which is one of my favorites.
Ten Days of Flesh was actually recommended as well when I looked it up. But
Mm.
I already had it, so I was like, oh yes, that's why I'm gonna like start with this book.
Yeah, I really like that kind of like hauntingly bizarre premise that you just kind of have to go along with because it's just so fun.
I think at this rate, I think these WTF books will be one of my favorite genres too.
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna lie. There's something about them
It's just
that
compelling.
very compelling. Something that keeps me going back to that WTF books.
One of the first physical copies I bought when I was getting back into reading was
Mm.
The Vegetarian.
Or was it one of the first?
Yeah, I
Okay.
picked it up at Dimmicks and I was like, "This was cool."
Mm.
And then I read it and I was like, what the hell was that?"
Exactly. Yeah.
And I tell you, it is one of the books that I think back on frequently. I don't necessarily think that I liked it as a book.
Mm.
I was
Mm.
very confused by it, but I think a good story is one that sticks with you for quite a long time, and I know that that book has stuck with me for far longer than I expected.
Did you
Mm.
know that it was written by a Korean author? Did it
Yeah,
mention anywhere?
yeah.
Okay. Because The Vegetarian by Han Gang she's a Korean author. And for reference, she's one of the first Korean ever who won Nobel Prize in Literature. But different book. I forgot the name of the book. I only remember in Korean. It'll come back to me. Anyway, yeah, once I knew that it was, because I was going through some recommendations and I
Mm.
saw Vegetarian and then it was by Han Gang. I was like, there's no way I'm not going to get this. I
I'm
have to
not
give it a try.
sure how much you will enjoy The Vegetarian, just because so much of it is about being a woman.
Yeah, well,
But you know what? Maybe you'll get something
yeah.
completely different out of it than what I did.
Oh yeah, maybe. It's maybe one of those books where different genders may have different response.
Mm. Yeah, now that you mention it, like, I
Mm.
don't know if you'll get the same thing that I got out of it, but I'm excited to hear what you think
Mm.
and what the reading experience was like for you. Because I know for me it was
Yeah.
bizarre.
Oh, definitely bizarre. Yeah. I mean, I haven't even started the book, but I can tell it's bizarre.
Yeah.
I read the blurb and it's
Mm. You know, I bought
uh
that I bought The Vegetarian right before going to Japan when I was
mm.
in a bookstore, and I also
Oh
bought
yeah.
another book at the same time by another Korean author. It's called The Good Son.
The Good Son.
The Good
Let me
Son.
check.
and I can't
Sun as in
pronounce
S-U-N or S-O-N?
S-O-N. And I can't pronounce the author's name, so I'm gonna need you to pronounce that for me.
Oh, Jung Yoo-jung. She's I've heard of her before. Jung Yoo-jung. Where have I heard her name from before? Hang on. But yeah, what was the book about? Was it good?
I read it actually on the plane. So I remember being
Mm.
very physically uncomfortable while I was reading it, but the story was very compelling and it was a really fun ride. Like I said, it was a long, long time ago, but yeah, I do remember it being really good.
Oh! Huh.
Has she written
Hey,
anything
what
else
was the book?
noteworthy?
Good Son? You said?
The Good Son, yeah.
Well, I can only read the English, I mean Korean titles. But there's one sci-fi books that one sci-fi book that I always wanted to read, but I couldn't get English copy of it anywhere. It's also by this author.
Oh, really?
Mm. The title, what's this in English? You know, it's the same as Charles Darwin
Mm.
and what's his famous book that he wrote about the evolution?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name.
Oh, on the origin of species.
Mm.
Yeah, well, it's the same title with this author, but it was recommended so many times from like Korean YouTubers who recommends books, especially
Why don't you read
sci-fi's.
it?
I couldn't find any English copy of it.
Well, don't get an English copy, get a
Well,
Korean
I don't know. I
copy.
don't know where to get Korean copy. Maybe I'll buy when I visit Korea one day.
Amazon Korean?
This is maybe not sci-fi. It says it's mystery thriller.
Well, I
Let me
know
just
that
see
The
the
Good
plot.
Son was definitely a mystery thriller, and it was so much fun. It was a really good
Oh,
ride.
anyway. Oh, that's interesting. I'll remember this.
Mm.
All right. So let's go to Andy Weir's story. I've got some interesting stories about our author
Mhm.
for this week.
Yeah, because I didn't have much time to look up about the author because I was just trying to get this book read.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, so I think, if I'm not mistaken, there are 3 books written by him that's at least popular.
Mm.
So his debut was The Martian,
Which was,
which
like,
I'm
from everything that I've heard, it's fantastic. I've skimmed it. The skimming was
fantastic,
fantastic. The film was great.
fantastic.
Mm.
Which I'm reading it right now. I'm about halfway through the book. I've watched the movie multiple times. I think the second book was The Artemis, which is a heist book that's set in a colony on the moon. And the third one was Project Hail Mary. Now, interestingly, he's a programmer. He was a programmer.
Oh, really?
Mm. So he even writes his own software to check his own plots.
Oh, that's
You know how
really cool.
yeah, you know how he does all these extensive researches and studies and research. He coded like orbital mechanics to calculate trajectories and everything. Yeah, for the Martian, and he did the same thing for Project Hail Mary. So he created his own software to do the math when he's writing his sci-fi books, which is super awesome.
That is so cool. How
Mm.
dedicated do you have to be to the accuracy of your book to write an entire program to check it for
Yeah,
you? That's
and
crazy.
initially he wasn't very well known as an author, but when he was writing The Martian, it was serialized free, like one chapter at a time on the website.
Mm.
But then readers initially asked for a Kindle version, and like Amazon's minimum price was apparently 99 cents. So that's what he charged. And it just blew out of proportion. Like everybody was crazy about it and then ended up publishing the actual book.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can see why. It's like those people that like they've posted really good stories on Reddit and then have eventually,
Mm,
because people have loved it so much, got it
mm,
published.
mm, mm, mm.
That's yeah.
But
I
yeah,
I
yeah.
can tell why it blew up. Like it's it's just crazy good.
Because I watched the Martian movie first, and now I'm reading it. It, it's the same as Project Hail Mary. They did leave out a lot of stuff from the book.
Mm,
So I feel like I'm finally reading the entire story by reading the book. Because the
yeah.
movie I've watched so many times because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Yeah, reading the book sort of fills in all the gaps.
Because one of the things that I found so interesting about The Martian and the movie is
Mm.
his ability to grow crops.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the most interesting part, is just him growing crops.
On Mars.
Yeah, I was like, that's the coolest shit.
The book explains a lot more in detail, the whole science behind it, which I like as a science nerd.
Hmm.
Not that I'm expert in any of these science, but I'm an enthusiast when it comes to interesting scientific facts.
Do you cross-check these things when you're reading the books?
I don't cross check or anything, but if a sci-fi book discusses some interesting concept, I do look it up.
Ah.
And that's exactly what I did with Project Hail Mary as well. There were times when I was reading the book, I searched so many different like scientific theories and concepts on YouTube. That's basically all. Whenever I go into YouTube, that's all the video that's get recommended to me.
I just get recommended videos of fish tanks.
What have you been
Sa
doing searching fish tanks?
There's something about watching people build fish tanks that puts me straight to sleep. I love just curling up of an evening and settling into bed, putting YouTube on the telly. Someone's made a nice fish tank for like, this little turtle that they found at the pet store that wasn't doing very well.
From scratch?
Yeah. Some of them, like,
Okay.
assemble the tanks themselves made to
Oh.
specific measurements, and I put it on, 10 seconds later, I'm snoozing.
Just like ASMR
Oh,
for
it's
you.
so good. I like watching
Yeah.
little creatures just doing their own thing.
No, we haven't been doing the interesting little facts about little bugs ever since
Yeah.
episode 2. I just
Oh, no,
realized.
I've got so much content to make up for. Anyway,
All right.
now that we've gotten
Anyway,
sidetracked, do you wanna tell us a little bit about the plot of Project Hail Mary?
there is one thing that I need to be careful, which I consider a spoiler after reading the book, but it was shown in the first 2 minutes of a movie trailer.
Yes.
There was one gripe I had with this movie. When they made the
Mm.
trailer, well, we'll talk more in the spoiler section, because for those who haven't read the book, don't watch the trailer for the movie.
Yeah, unless you're okay with having the plot quite spoiled,
Yeah.
because it is an unexpected event, and,
It is an unexpected event that doesn't happen until maybe the first half of the book or
I'd say,
one third
like,
of the
about a
book.
third of the book
About a
is.
third of the book, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, for whatever reason, movie producers decided that it's okay to just reveal it. So
Well, it is quite a selling point, you have to admit.
yeah, it is. It
And if
is.
they just tried to make the trailer without using that
Yep.
spoiler, they would not have a hell of a lot of content to use to compel
True. That's
people to
true.
come see the film.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this takes up a huge part of the plot, so I
It
guess
does.
they had no choice. But when I was reading the book with blank state, it was such a big twist.
So you had no idea when you started reading it.
No idea. I wasn't even okay. We'll talk more
Yeah,
later
we'll talk
because I
more
don't
in
want
the
to
spoiler
accidentally slip
section.
out for those who want to read the book for that surprise. So Ryland Grace is our protagonist. He wakes up on a spaceship with total amnesia. He doesn't know his name.
Not total amnesia, thank you very much.
Oh yeah, at
No, no,
first.
no, 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 no. Because his semantic memory is completely intact. It's just his
Yeah.
episodic memory is gone.
Well, not at first. He doesn't remember a thing about what happened, like what's going on. He was so disoriented and confused.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's coming out of a coma, so that's understandable. But
Okay. Well, at least he doesn't know his name
at the beginning, he doesn't know his name. But
at the beginning.
just for complete clarity, most of his procedural memory is intact.
Yes.
It's just his episodic memory that is gone.
Yeah.
He doesn't really know much about himself, but he knows facts about the world.
Oh yeah. Of course. I mean, amnesia. What is total amnesia? Isn't that total amnesia? Like, what is it? I mean, he just doesn't remember a whole chunk of time period
Yeah.
up until that point. I mean, he obviously remembers his childhood and what he does for a living. Oh no,
No, he
he
doesn't.
doesn't know that. Yeah, he doesn't. See, like anyway, he doesn't know his name at first. He doesn't know what his mission is, and he doesn't even know that he's on a spaceship
He
at
doesn't even
first.
know that he's American.
Yeah, yeah. So he doesn't know a lot of things when he woke up in the middle of nowhere. I mean, in the middle of very confined space. At that time, he doesn't even know that he's inside a spaceship. And there are also 2 other people on board who are dead.
Yeah, I was gonna
And
say, you can't
he
really call them people, they're just corpses. So he wakes up in the middle of
Yeah.
just this really strange hospital-looking room, and
Mm.
he's, like, looking to his left, "Ah, dead body." Looking to his right, "Ah, dead body."
Yep.
Great. What now?
Yep. That's all he's given, and he needs to start figuring out what's going on and why he's
Mm.
there, and yeah. So something is eating the sun, not
Yes.
metaphorically, lyrically,
Lyrically.
literally, not
They
lyrically,
singing while they do it.
literally. An organism is consuming our star's output.
Mm.
Earth is heading for a climate collapse within a couple of decades,
Yep.
and he is
Famine, war,
famine.
it's all inevitable at this
Mm.
point unless we
And
do something.
it turns out that he's like billions and billions of kilometers from home on a one-way trip to solve the problem of why our sun is dying and how to save the humanity.
Mm.
Mm. So it's told in 2 braided timelines. There's a part where Gray's solving problems in real time in space, and there are flashbacks to what happened
Yeah.
up until the launch of that spaceship.
And I thought that was really fun that we got what's happening in the present moment, but also when he remembers things about his past and the situation
Yes.
and how he got there, it's revealed
Yeah.
to us at the same time.
Yeah. 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 I think that was very cleverly done.
Yeah, not
Yes.
only is this new for the author, it's also new for him because he's still got
Mm,
no idea what's
that's
going
right.
on.
So we find out about his past or what happened when he was on Earth, this basically the same time as he does.
Mm.
So which was pretty
It was very
clever.
fun. It definitely added another element to the book that kind of kept you on your toes a little bit.
Now, despite the extinction level premise, this book is, I'd say, it's very funny
It is very funny,
and
yeah, because
warm and hopeful.
yeah, Ryland Grace, he's absolutely got a sense of humor about
Oh
everything that's
yeah,
happening. Even when he's experiencing the worst thing, he's like completely down on his luck. He has absolutely no optimism at all. He still
mm,
retains this kind of humor,
yes,
and it helps to lighten the load a bit, especially when the threat in this book is just so existential, like
oh yes,
literally the planet is going to die.
yeah,
And that's one of the things that really gets me about sci-fi is just how it's just some of the concepts are just so crazy scary to me
yeah,
and so existential that it makes me get a little bit funny for a couple of days
yeah,
after I finish
yeah.
reading.
Yep, 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 yep. I mean, sci-fi books generally, in my opinion, tend to be more depressing in general.
Mm.
This is not like that at all. It's not bleak.
It's
There is
not.
hope.
No, there is hope.
It's funny, and he's got sense of humor. And you know what? He reminds me of?
Mm.
Mark Watney from The Martian.
Really?
Exact same personality.
Mm.
He was a problem solver. He has sense of humor. He was optimistic. You know, and when I was reading the book, in my head, it was Matt Damon.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very, very similar characters.
Yeah. So that's all premise. So we're basically following his journey to wherever he's going, and
To figure out
he does
what's eating the sun
yeah,
and how to
and
stop it.
to fix it as well. And in the beginning of the book, obviously, we don't know what's the objective of this mission. We don't know what they're trying to do or why they're heading there or where they're heading there. We have no idea at all, but it slowly reveals throughout the book.
Mm.
And before we get into the spoiler section, there's a few nerdy stuff I want to discuss,
Yes, please.
if I may.
No, you may not. Of course you may.
No, it's just a minor thing,
Mm.
which I'm hoping people will appreciate the book and the movie a bit more by knowing these facts. Even for those people who've read it or watched the movie, hopefully this will make it more understanding, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. A little bit more depth to the story, a little bit more clarity.
Yes.
So go on, nerd out. I know you want to.
This is just a preview because this is still not a spoiler section. Anyway, Tau Ceti is a
Uh-huh.
real place. Did you know that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm just easing you in. I'm just easing you in. So it's a real star. It's about 12 light years away, and yeah, so it's an actual existing sun, not a randomly created one. And also briefly on spectroscopy. Do you know what it does or
No,
what it
I have
is?
no idea. Please tell me.
Okay, so spectroscopy is a technique where every element and molecule absorbs and emits light at its own exact set of wavelengths.
Mm.
So it's sort of like a
Sort of like
fingerprint.
auras.
Yeah.
This is a joke. I
Yeah.
am joking.
And
Mm.
that's how people can tell what a star is made of and like what constitutes the atmosphere just by looking at what type of like wavelengths is emitted by the molecule or the element. So it's used a lot throughout the book to figure out, what these astrophage. Oh, by the way, do you pronounce it astrophage or astrophage?
Astrophage.
Okay, for some reason I've been saying
Astrophage?
astrophage. Okay, astrophage.
He's
Anyway,
American.
in the movie, obviously they say astrophage, but I thought in British English it was astrophage. Anyway, astrophage.
Astrophage.
So they use spectroscopy a lot throughout the movie to figure out the which element they're dealing with, and later on in the book there's okay, I won't say that at this section. Anyway, that's what spectroscopy is,
Mm.
and with the sun dying, right? We don't need the sun to switch off for the human extinction. A few percent drop in output is enough to do that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's more of a famine problem rather than the freezing problem
Yes.
because it kills off all the crops on the earth.
Yeah.
So people might think that a few percentage of the power output of the sun, will be definitely colder, but what significance does it have? Basically everybody's going to starve to death. So you have to
Yeah.
figure out a way to find the source of food. And well, that's about it for the free section. Because I want to delve deeper, but I can't. So
You can't end a sentence with "and."
no, there was another thing I wanted to say, but again, I'll discuss further. So anyway,
Okay. So in
yeah,
the non-spoiler section, one of the things
yeah,
that really hit me, it is right at the start of the book. And
mhm,
it is like, it sounds so stupid to say it, but it's one of the things that I have never thought about. So Ryland he's in a medically induced coma, and when he wakes up, he's got a butt tube in and he's got a catheter in.
yeah.
For some reason, I never considered that was something that it makes so much sense.
Well, you didn't think they would have catheter up there?
I just didn't think about it. I was like, yeah, the robots will take care of all the bodily processes, but it makes so much sense to have a butt tube and a catheter in.
Of course. What did you expect?
I
I mean, like,
don't
how
know,
did-
because you have to remember that I watched the movie first, and obviously I did not put a butt tube. I did not put a butt tube in the movie, so I was like, oh yeah, this is fine.
Oh, they didn't?
No.
They didn't? Oh, okay. All right.
One of the first scenes of the book is Ryland accidentally like yanking out his own
Ah,
catheter.
yeah, yeah.
So I really don't think that they could have put that in the film. But yeah, it was
Yeah,
just,
that would have been very graphic in the movie.
oh god, that would have set the tone for the whole movie completely wrong. But yeah, it was something that I never considered as just like normal human bodily functions that would need to be taken care of while you're in a medically induced coma. Um, okay, so do you want to discuss a little bit about the spoiler that is revealed in the trailer?
Yeah, so you can do the honor.
Okay, so while Ryland is in space,
By the way, from now on, we will be talking full spoiler. So who's read the book but who haven't watched the movie yet, you can obviously still listen to the rest. But no, that came out wrong. I don't even know what I'm saying. Okay, now we're talking full spoiler. Yeah.
Jay
No,
is
forget what I
listing
said.
out who has permission to listen to the spoiler talk.
It's just because of that trailer, like it throws off a lot of people who've read, especially for those who read the book. Anyway,
Mm.
yeah, you can tell them.
while Ryland is in space, his spaceship, the Hail Mary, alerts him to something. It's just showing
Mm,
up as blip 8.
mm. From
And
somewhere that shouldn't be anything.
yeah, there should not be anything anywhere near him. Mind you, he's still barely aware of what's going on. So he tries to figure out what blip 8 is. And it's another spaceship.
Dun, dun, dun.
And unbeknownst to Ryland, it's got a little friend inside. It's got a best friend inside.
Best friend. So there's a first contact
Yeah.
with an alien species.
Yes. And of course, because Ryland's like an absolute nerd, this is the most exciting thing that's ever happened to him.
Yeah.
Probably to
For the entire
anyone.
humankind, this is like first ever.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
And so at first, there's just kind of rudimentary communications between the two ships where
Mm,
they'll, do a movement and then the other one will repeat it. And then the Blip A sends a capsule over to Ryland, and inside it is a little model of kind of the solar system showing which planet these guys have come from. And so Ryland cobbles together a really dodgy one to send back to them. And they do a little bit of back and forth. And eventually, the Blip A builds a tunnel over to Hail
Mm.
Mary so that they can make first contact. And oh my God, is it the cutest thing ever?
Rocky.
Rocky.
His name's Rocky. The cutest thing that
Oh
I've
my
ever read
gosh. It's
in
just,
sci-fi. Well, in any books, hands down. One of my
yeah.
favorite characters.
Yep. He's just so endearing. I
I wish I had a pet like Rocky.
So he's described as having 5 legs and looking almost spider-like
Mm.
with 3 finger joints at the end of each leg. And I feel like the movie did a really good job of kind of translating
Oh yeah, I
what
think they
Rocky
did a
would
great
look
job.
like. Yeah.
That's what I had in mind.
And one of the things that I really enjoyed was because they found each other. And Ryland can only assume that it's because they're struggling with the same issue. So they need to learn how to communicate with each other so
Yeah.
that they can solve the issue together. And that just kind of communication and how they learn to talk to each other is just so cute. So cute.
Now, you remember the first contact scene where initially when Rocky connects the two ships
Mm.
and then there's a panel in the middle of the
Yeah,
tunnel,
of multiple different materials.
multiple different materials. The movie hasn't mentioned anything
No, nothing about that.
about those, but on the book, it explains the whole process
Mm.
because Rocky, which Grace Ryland decides to call them as Iridians, the alien species, they're blind
Yes.
and they see by hearing, like using ultrasound.
Yeah, like bats on steroids, basically.
Yeah. So for Rocky, he doesn't know whether Ryland can see him or not. He can obviously see him. I mean, Rocky can obviously see Ryland because he can listen to him. He doesn't require a vision to see him through anything. But for Ryland's benefit, what he's done was he's created this whole wall with different materials. I don't know if it's different materials, but different,
Different properties, really.
yeah, different properties. And Ryland taps on that transparent section of that wall. So Rocky knows he can actually see through that particular form of xenonite,
Mm.
which is the main material that the Iridians deal with. So he then disconnects again and then makes a new tunnel with the whole panel transparent. I thought it was such a good detail,
Mm.
and it was missed out entirely from the movie.
Yeah, it wasn't mentioned at all.
Yeah. It was such a clever way for Rocky as well to come up with that method.
And Rocky is so smart.
He's
But
he's the master engineer.
yeah, in a completely different way to Ryland, and I feel like they complement each other so well.
So yeah, so these two intelligences that have almost zero sensory overlap, and to as a way to solve it, they instead of trying to solve it themselves, they try to work together. They hand the other one the tools and trust them that the other party will understand and reciprocate.
Mm.
That was a very solid foundation of their friendship, I
Yeah, 'cause
think.
another thing that Rocky did very early on was build this kind of, like, passageway that they could pass items through
Mm. Yep.
just to facilitate communication.
Because Iridian, they live in a environment where it's 29 times the atmosphere of normal, like for human beings,
Mm.
and the temperature is over 200 degrees. So it's very different, and even the air they breathe in is full of ammonia, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah. So he devised this airlock system where he and Ryland can exchange objects, which was very smart.
Yeah, and one of the first objects that they exchange is clocks.
Mm. Did they show that in movie?
They did, yes.
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah.
Briefly, I think they
But, yeah,
touched on it.
it was only just barely touched on, where
Yeah.
it's much more explained in the books, how they figure out
Mm.
how time works for each of them.
Yeah. And then that's how sort of Ryland figured out Iridians use base 6 numbers
Mm.
and vice versa.
And, eventually, Ryland uses a software to because Rocky communicates basically through different notes. He doesn't it's a very strange sort of language, and Ryland eventually he builds almost a spreadsheet so that he can have
Yep.
a little Iridian dictionary with him
Yep.
to
Yep.
facilitate communication, and I thought that was so fun, just watching them figure
Yeah.
out each other's languages. Because
It
Rocky
was
doesn't need anything like that, he's just clever enough.
yeah.
He's like, "I get what you're saying. It's you who are the stupid one."
No, but the thing I need to mention is because Iridians, they had their flaws as well.
They do.
Mm.
They
Because
didn't
they
understand radiation when they went into space.
that's right. There's no radiation because the atmosphere is so thick and high in pressure. Like radiations from the space doesn't reach the planet at all.
Mm.
They have just zero knowledge of the concept of radiation.
Yeah, so when Rocky took off on his ship, all of his crewmates died.
Yeah.
And there was something like 30 some Iridians that were on
Yeah.
that ship, and the only
Yep.
reason that Rocky survived was he was surrounded by the astrophage.
Mm. Which is very dense,
Yeah.
which blocks some of the radiations. And the other thing is they also have never heard of relativity, which I found so fascinating
Mm,
because in the end, that's what actually saved both of them. They don't know the concept of relativity
mm,
because they don't have eyes. They can't observe the sky, or they don't know what the hell's going on outside of their planet.
mm.
They don't know that light exists. They don't know how to calculate the speed of light. They just have just don't have the concept. So when the Iridian mission planners, when they calculated the journey from their planet to this Tau Ceti, they brought enough fuel to last. I can't remember this certain for whatever. Let's say 6 years.
Mm.
But Rocky and the ship Blip A only got there like they only experienced 3 years because of the relativity.
Yeah, and he has no idea why either. He's like, "I don't
He
know
has
why,
no
but we
idea
just got there
why.
faster."
He has no idea why he got there so much faster because they were almost traveling at speed of light, and has no idea why his crewmates died because he has no concept of radiation. And that surplus of fuel is what made him and Ryland survive at the end of the book,
Yeah.
which I found very interesting and very cleverly implemented in the book by Andy Weir. Mm,
Did we even mention what they're going into space looking for?
no, I don't think so.
Oh, dear.
Okay,
There's
so there's this planet. Tau Ceti it's a star that hasn't been affected by astrophages. So this star is, for whatever reason, immune to astrophages, and it's not dying.
Mm,
So Ryland and Rocky from both of their planets were sent there to find out why this is happening here. Like why this why this star is not affected by astrophages.
Why it seems like it's immune when everything else is suffering, and all the stars that are kind of within reach of each other are infecting each other.
Yeah,
It's
and
it's
they're
almost
spreading
contagious,
everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So they found this one star that seems to be immune, so they have to
Mm,
go there to figure out why.
that's right. And it turns out that there's a nearby planet which is filled with a predator called Taumiba, which Grace comes up with. They're like amoeba-like microorganism that eats astrophages.
Yes.
So that's how they've been immune to astrophage attacks.
Mm.
So now the problem is they need to bring these Talmebas back to their planets so they can cure their own suns.
But they need to also make sure that the Talmebas can actually survive in the different atmospheres as well.
Correct. And that's also another aspect that movie was a little bit weak on.
Yeah,
They
I
didn't
don't feel
really,
like it mentioned it very much at all.
yeah,
Because in the book, they
it
have this whole breeding program to make sure that the Talmebas are gonna be stable, but
correct.
it's really not mentioned in the movie at all.
Because nitrogen is fatal to Talmebas.
Mm.
And obviously the Earth and Sun, they've got a lot of nitrogens. So if they bring Talmebas just like that, they're just gonna die. They're not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
So what Ryland does is over multiple generations, he's basically trying to develop a Talmeba that's resistant to nitrogen. And it's similar to how antibiotic resistance occur as well.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, when they're exposed to certain environments, they adapt. Some portion of the samples will adapt and they'll survive, and they use that to breed more, and they keep exposing them to like higher level of nitrogen to make it
Mm.
to the level they want it to be,
So that the ones that
which
are
is very
resilient.
extensively discussed in the book.
Yeah, and I found that absolutely fascinating. I really enjoyed
Yeah,
that segment.
that's right. And it wasn't it was there were try and error. He doesn't obviously like succeeds in doing it straight away. He figures out what went wrong. He does problem solving, tries again, rinse
Mm.
and repeat. That's what I love about this character as well. He's a problem solver,
Oh, yeah.
just like Mark Watney. Same, like I said, they're really similar.
When, Rocky and Ryland start kind of developing their relationship and they are able to communicate with each other quite well, there's a moment when Grace confides in Rocky that the Hail Mary was never supposed to go home. It's a
Mm,
suicide mission.
hence the name, Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And, Rocky's like, "Well, how much fuel do you need to get back home? Because I got
yeah.
plenty."
Mysteriously, I've got so much
Mysteriously,
surplus
I
of
have
fuel.
quite an excess of fuel. And there was this book did make me cry. And it was this sentence said by Rocky. And it's so stupidly simple, but it had me crying.
I think I know which one. Yeah,
I
yeah.
am happy. You know, die. Let's save planets.
Yeah.
I thought that was just so sweet because they're both working together towards this common goal. And now Ryland, all of a sudden, he can go home. And Rocky's just happy to be there and help his new friend.
That was such an emotional part. I mean, it was so very heartwarming.
Yes. The whole book is very heartwarming.
Uh, that's why you could not love Rocky. It's so cute. It's so considerate, so
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, that was one of the moments that I teared up as well.
What's the part that actually made you cry?
When they said goodbyes,
Oh, really? That's the part that got you?
they got me so hard because I mean they're like best friends, like no other best friends that has ever existed.
Yeah, they've really bonded so much just through mutual interest of each other, and
Yeah,
it's
and which transcends the race or the species, right?
mm,
And I could tell when they were saying goodbyes, I could tell like
it's so
I really
painful for
didn't.
both of them.
Yes, and I can see that I can sense their pain,
Mm,
and but then to save their own species, they have to. It's
yeah.
not like they can just hang around and just forget about other people. So it's something they have to do out of duty. But they're such a the bond they've made after that, just I don't know how they
It's not comparable to anything else, really,
no.
because of how much effort they've both put in to communicating with each other.
And mind you, they needed each other to
Yes.
for this mission to succeed. Like, one of them alone would never have succeeded.
Yeah, it's only through their cooperation that they're able to succeed
Yeah.
because, Rocky and his engineering
Mm.
prowess and his
Yeah.
ability to make almost anything that you
Yeah.
need,
Yeah.
and Ryland with his far more advanced scientific
Yeah.
technology, that
Yeah.
they would have both been hopeless without one another.
Right. They complement each other so well,
Mm,
which was a perfect match. And it
mm.
was so heartbreaking to watch them say goodbye.
Yeah, because there's no way that they would be able to ever communicate again.
That's right. That's another thing. Yeah, once they say goodbye, that's
That's
it.
it.
They'll never see each other. They'll never be able to communicate.
Yeah.
But the things they went through together, that was such a heartbreaking moment.
Yeah. It upset me, but it didn't make me cry.
What part made you cry? When there was a accident,
Yeah. And Rocky was hurt.
was hurt. Yes.
But one of the things that I noticed that they didn't really mention in the film at all was just how much Ryland tries to help Rocky
Yeah,
as much as possible.
that's right. That's another thing that movie left out.
Yeah, because in the movie, it's kind of just like very much glossed over. But in the
Yeah,
book, Ryland, he makes this kind of like air pump to try and get rid of all the like
the gunk and
the
debris or whatever.
yeah,
The yeah,
from the damage that he took from
yeah,
being in Ryland's atmosphere for just a short amount of time. And he's trying everything that he can
yeah. He's trying everything. Everything he can do, he tries.
because that's his best friend.
But the funny thing is, Rylan obviously doesn't know Iridian physiology,
No.
and whatever he was doing was actually making things
Yes,
worse.
it was. But it's okay because Rocky survives and he's all right.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really, really loved about Rocky and Grace is when they kind of get more familiar with each other and kind of they have these moments where culturally they're so very different,
Yeah.
but they just do things for each other because it's a quote unquote
Yeah.
cultural thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like for Iridians, they extremely vulnerable when they sleep.
Yeah.
It's like their whole system shuts off. They cannot be awoken. So
Yeah.
he's kind of like, you watch me sleep. You don't have a choice. You watch me sleep. and and he also watches Rylan sleep and he's like, you don't
Yeah.
have to do that. And
Yeah. That's
Rocky's just
right.
like,
That's
no,
right.
cultural thing, gotta do it. And for Iridians as well, eating it's almost taboo. It's almost something that you do in private, like going to the bathroom
Yeah.
for Rylan. And Rylan's obviously fascinated. He's like, I want to watch you eat. And so he's watching Rocky eat. One of the parts that cracked me up so much is he asks Rocky a question while Rocky's in the middle of eating, and Rocky just says, social discomfort. He's just like saying, don't talk to me while I do this. It's embarrassing enough already. Don't push your luck.
I love the chemistry. It was so
Yeah,
fun.
they're so perfect together.
Yeah, after all that, like, how can you say goodbye to each other?
Yeah. Another thing that I want to bring up just really quick is
Mm,
after Rocky gets injured,
mm.
obviously Ryland goes to great lengths to try to rescue Rocky. And in the process, he burns quite a lot of his arm. And the ship provides him with painkillers. And when he requests more painkillers, the ship says, you have to wait 3 hours before you take another dose. What painkillers do you think that the ship was administering as a pharmacist?
Morphine? Doesn't it explicitly say that it was morphine? Or it just says painkiller?
Just as painkiller.
I'll say morphine.
And it in tablet form.
Oh, was it tablet form, not an injection?
Yeah, yeah. It gives him a package of pills. So I'm thinking
Mm,
potentially oxycodone immediate release.
possibly,
Hmm.
possibly.
which would explain why he gets so wonky after taking them as well.
Oxycodone or Vicodin, which is I think more common in America.
That's the Dr. House drug, isn't it?
That's right. There's Dr. House drug, which has I forgot the name of the generic ingredient because it's not available in Australia.
Let's have a look. It's a mix of hydrocodone and acetaminophen.
Oh, hydrocodone. Yeah.
Mm. Which acetaminophen is also
Paracetamol.
paracetamol, yeah.
Yeah.
Which really confused me when I was in Japan because I was like, "I just need Panadol," and everything was saying acetaminophen, and I was like, "What? What is
Oh, you
that?"
didn't know it
No, I
at
didn't
that
know it
time.
at the time.
Yeah. Maybe Vicodin because of the paracetamol, they wanted to have at least 3-4 hours gap.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
just a
I never thought of it that way.
anytime there's a medication mentioned in a book, I'm always speculating on what it is.
Ah, I should be doing the same. I
You
just completely
don't?
glossed me over. Like I just you know what? I don't wanna deal with pharmacy even while I'm reading. I'm done. Like
That is so completely different to me because
so I deal enough about it already. Like I don't wanna even like bring that into my hobby.
that's so funny. Hold on, because I have a book that I bought. The bookstore that we live close to.
Nooks and Cranny?
Yes, yes, that one. It's great. Amazing little place. Definitely a fire hazard. I love it so much. I bought a book from there called Fever by Robin Cook.
Mm,
And it's about a doctor turned researcher, and his 12-year-old daughter gets very, very sick with cancer.
mm,
And the author, Robin Cook, he's actually a surgeon.
mm.
And this book was written quite a while ago, so it's really not terribly up to date. But oh, hold on. Oh no, never mind. I'm looking at a different bit. But yeah, Fever was so much fun because at the time I
Mm.
was working in a hospital and I had a lot of exposure to different chemotherapy drugs. And because the author is a doctor,
Oh.
there was so many things where I was like, I know what that is. This is so much fun.
I don't think I've ever read a book which talks about medications
Really?
up front.
Because in this one, it discloses like his 12-year-old daughter is very unwell, and he basically wants to take control of her chemotherapy regimen um, as much as possible. And
Mm.
the other doctors are like, stay in your lane, but he does not listen to it. It's very, very interesting.
Because I feel like authors are trying not to include specific medications in case the reader's not aware of them.
In this case, it's completely the opposite. It's like he was
Yeah, I
trying
mean,
to
in
make
that
it,
case, I think it's they're trying to be as explicit as they can.
yeah, which as someone
But
who's
in
very
general,
interested in drugs, it was
yeah.
absolutely fascinating to me. Mm.
But if I do see the actual name of medication, I do go, I know about this. Yeah.
Anytime any kind of medication is mentioned in a book, I'm like, "Oh, I know that. I
And the
wonder
thing
what that
is,
is."
most of them is from America or other countries, right? So
Mm.
they say the brand name most
Yes.
of the times.
Yeah, not the
So a lot of
generic.
times I don't know what they actually are.
You don't Google it?
Yeah, but I can if someone says like a specific brand name, like when someone has a cold, I know what's in there, but like I don't Google it and try to find out what exact ingredients are in there. But
Mm.
yeah, like the what's that? Yeah, so Vicodin. When I was watching House, I was curious, so I remember looking it up. There's a very popular there's a popular sleeping tablet that Americans use. Uh,
Ambien?
oh, Ambien. Yeah, yeah, Ambien. And I think that's the
It's Zolpidem.
oh yeah, it is Opidum.
Mm.
Yep, yep. So yeah,
This
if I
is
see
gonna
something
be
like that,
very
then
boring to everyone else.
just bear with
Yeah.
us because we both work in pharmacy and we think medications mentioned in books are interesting. So
This is just for us. This is not for anyone else.
so at the end, they managed to cultivate their own amoeba that's resistant to nitrogen.
Mm.
But the problem is they got too resistant. They become tough enough to seep into xenonite,
Yes.
which is the main ingredients that Iridians use to make things. including their spaceship.
including all of their fuel.
Correct.
What's
So,
what's the correct word that I'm looking for?
fuel tank,
I was looking for something a little bit more descriptive than tank. S-
fuel
Something
compartment,
something that sounds cooler.
fuel space.
Hold on, give me like 10 seconds.
You mean where they store this fuel?
Yeah. Receptacle.
Ah,
Yes! See, that was a way cooler word than tank.
so fancy.
That was
Receptacle.
way, way worth the wait.
Fuel tank would have worked fine. Like,
But
who says fuel
receptacle is
receptacle?
fun.
Anyway, so after they say goodbye, Grace noticed that they're gonna affect the xenonite, and they basically destroy xenonite, which is a huge problem for Rocky
Yeah, because
because
how is he gonna get home with no fuel?
yeah, and
Oh, did we even mention that the astrophage is being used as fuel?
maybe not.
This is what happens when I finish a book and I don't write any notes. I just go straight into the podcast.
Well, I have written notes, but it's all about scientific facts, and I haven't even covered everything. I think it's too much detail to
Don't
go through
worry,
everything.
we'll
Anyway,
get time.
anyway, they use astrophage as source of fuel
Mm.
because they have almost 100% efficiency, 90 something percent efficiency.
Yeah, they're like crazy good at
Yeah,
being
so
fuel.
compared to like fossil fuels or like nuclear fission or fusion fuels, which sit about 20-30% of efficiency, this is like super hyper efficient
Mm.
fuel source. So that's why they could make the trip in the first place from the Earth to Tau Ceti. Anyway, so yeah, the fuel is astrophage, but now Tau is going to seep into the fuel receptacle
Yes.
and kill all the astrophages as well because they're predators. They eat astrophages.
And those bitches is hungry.
Yeah. So Ryland decides to go back to Blip A to find Rocky and warn him about the fact.
Because he figured it out on his own ship, and he was able to
Mm,
realize that they can't get through iridium steel, but the xenonite, they can work their way through it. They can't
mm,
they can't do so with plastic and epoxy though.
mm.
So like there's options, but Rocky's in trouble.
Big trouble. He's gonna be just stranded
Yeah.
with no fuel in the middle of nowhere, literally.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about that scene? Like where he decides to sacrifice himself, so to speak, to go back, knowing that he might not be able to go back to Earth.
Honestly, it felt very strange, especially
Mm.
considering that he wasn't the one who made the decision to go on the Hail Mary in the first place.
There was another twist at the end. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it turns out that he was actually the pool of applicants for which they were choosing the crew for the Hail Mary. There was very specific criteria, and they had to be coma resistant, which is I think one in only 7,000 people have this gene that makes them coma resistant. And
Mm.
Ryland was one of those people. He was working very closely with everyone organizing the Hail Mary, and he was one of the
Like advisor, scientific, like
he
science
was an
advisor.
advisor, and he was also one of the first people to actually get his hands on astrophage, and he was the one
Mm.
who figured out how to breed them as well. So
Mm.
he's been extremely important to this entire event. And there was originally two other like scientific advisors that were supposed to be going on the trip. There was one and a backup just in case something happened to the
Mm.
original one, but they
Yeah.
unfortunately both got exploded.
But when they were experimenting with astrophage.
Yeah, and they exploded it themselves. So a little bit unfortunate. And so they go to Ryland and like, hey Ryland, how do you feel about maybe dying? And he's like, not for me actually. I'd rather not. So they're like,
Yeah.
okay, well that's not an option because we're just gonna drug you and do it anyways.
Yeah.
So I think it was a really big moment when he makes that choice to go back and save Rocky, knowing that he will not survive because
Mm.
this is a choice that he's making of his own
That's right.
volition.
That's right.
And
That's right.
yeah, and he was so scared about the thought of going on the Hail Mary trip to begin with because he wanted to be on Earth. He's a teacher. He wanted to be
Mm,
with his kids, and he didn't wanna leave. He wanted to be there to help while everyone was, suffering the effects of the sun dimming. So, the fact that he's in this situation and he has a choice, either go home or save Rocky, and he's like, "You know what? That's my buddy."
that's right. And then he
And then he
turns back.
yeah. And he also sends off the Tomibas that he's bred. Sorry, that was so bad. And
Breeded.
breeded him. He breeded them real good and then shot them off
Breeded.
into space so that they can
Breeded.
get back to Earth and fix the problem. Breeded it.
Yeah, the Talmivas, he breeded.
He breeded them.
There is a device in in Hail Mary ship
Uh,
where they're self-navigating probes, so to speak.
uh,
They can carry a cargo. So Ryland is not really abandoning the Earth. He still sends all those Talmiba, like nitrogen-resistant Talmibas, into that little tiny probe called the Beetles,
uh.
and he still saves the humanity because they'll find their way to Earth using the astrophage as fuel. But himself, he is making the sacrifice
Yeah, he's
to
not
save his
abandoning
friend.
Earth. He's
Yeah,
abandoning himself
yeah.
to save the Iridians and to save Rocky. Which, I mean, you're saving two different species, you know?
Mm,
It's such an admirable
that's
thing
right.
to do.
That's right.
He's achieved 200% of the objectives of the Hail Mary
That's right. By sacrificing himself.
and saving two different species.
2 different entire planets.
Yes.
Yeah.
What an overachiever, jeez. But yeah, I loved that part, and I think it
Mm,
it fit with his character. Mm.
yeah. Because when I first found out that it was against his will to be in this mission, I kinda liked him a little less because, I thought, you were the backup.
Uh,
When the time comes, you need to step up, for the mankind.
uh.
So I was a bit disappointed, to be honest. But then he chooses to sacrifice himself to go back to save not only Rocky, but his planet as well.
Yeah.
That was such a selfless decision.
See, I think when it was revealed that it wasn't his choice to go on the Hail Mary, I thought that made
Mm.
him even more endearing.
Mm.
Because, I mean, everyone can kind of relate to being a little bit of a coward sometimes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
It's scary, the thought of going on a
Mm.
suicide mission. I don't know anyone who would wanna
Mm.
volunteer for that. I'm just glad I'm not smart enough to be eligible for anything like that.
It's the fact that he's initially was a coward
Mm,
in a way, but he turns out by the end of the book, he was such a selfless hero that
yeah.
saved 2 planets.
He didn't wanna be a hero, though. He never wanted it. That was never one of his
Mm.
motivations. He just
Mm.
wanted to save his friend.
That's right.
Yeah.
The the power of friendship.
Yep. It was great. Really great.
And he doesn't die.
Yeah, he doesn't die.
He doesn't die. He didn't end up sacrificing himself. I mean, although he thought he was sacrificing himself.
Yeah, they took him home. Rocky took him home, and the Iridians have him as a little pet.
That sounded so grim. Like you said, they had him as a pet.
He's happy. He's happy.
He is
They figured
happy.
out how to make food for him, and he's
Mm.
teaching Iridians, and he's got his little synthetic environment that they put
Yep,
him
yep.
in, and yeah, it's
Because he had a laptop full of all the scientific knowledge that humankind has earned throughout the entire history.
yeah,
And Iridian scientists or engineers or scholars, they studied them and then made this dome with stable enough atmosphere for Grace to live in. So he made this little tiny fish tank, so to speak,
yeah.
for him to live that resembles Earth's environment.
Yeah, and it is important to express that he is happy with this situation. He's not
Mm.
being held against his will. He's happy that he's there with his best friend and he's having a very rewarding experience. He's still a teacher, you know?
But I think I got the feeling that he still misses Earth. I don't know whether that was from the movie or the book because I think the ending had a slightly different nuance.
It did. I think in the film, it's much more heavily implied that he misses Earth.
Yeah, right.
But in the book, it's revealed that Rocky comes to visit Ryland and he says, "By the way, your son, full brightness again. We
That's
did
right.
it." And
Yeah.
Ryland's incredibly happy about that. He hadn't even considered going back just purely because he didn't know if the planet would be ho
Mm,
like, hospitable at all.
yep. Mm.
And by the time he learns of this news, he's quite a lot older. So, it's almost like he considers potentially going back.
'Cause I think Rocky even suggests or hints that they've got enough technology to send him home,
Yeah, and he's like,
right?
"Eh."
Yeah.
Whereas in the film, it's kind of implied that, well, for the starters, Ryland, it doesn't look like he's aged at all. It looks
Yeah.
like they
No.
basically touched down, built him a little goldfish bowl, and then
Yeah.
said, "Alright,
Yeah.
it's been a week, you can go home now." But I like to believe that he enjoys living there.
Mm. And he becomes teacher again. He
Yeah,
teaches Iridian children.
yeah, and that's what makes him happy,
Yeah.
and it makes
And
me
science
happy.
teacher as
Yeah.
well, the same.
And sharing the knowledge between these 2 different species so that they can
Ah,
become
it's
smarter together. It's lovely.
it was a very wholesome
Yeah.
ending to the book. Very
It made
wholesome.
me very happy. I
Yeah.
heard a lot of people say that the ending was quite sad, but I don't think of it as sad
No, I
because
think no, it wasn't sad at all for me as well.
yeah, even in the book, Ryland explains that he loved his job, but he didn't really have much of a social life. He didn't really have any close friends. He didn't have a
Mm,
prominent relationship in his life. It was mainly just he lived for his students, and that was just about it.
that's
But
right. And also yeah,
by the time he would have gotten back to Earth anyway, a lot of his students, they'd be a lot older. They wouldn't be
a
his
lot
students
older.
anymore.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that point. Yeah,
Yeah.
because of time dilation. At those speeds, Grace ages far less than
Mm.
Earth does, and, you know, the world he left doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So he found his new world in Erid.
Yep. And he's living with his best friend, and they're roommates, and
Mm.
they're together forever. And I think he's happy.
Oh, I think he's happy too. I think
Yeah,
it was a happy ending.
I think so. Is there anything that you didn't like about this book?
I don't think so. I loved every single thing about this
Really?
book. I mean, might be because I don't remember the minute details,
Mm.
but when I think back, it had no flaws. It
I
was
think
such a wholesome experience.
for me personally,
Mm,
the
mm,
first third of the book was very, very dry, and it was a bit of a grind to get through,
yeah,
just
yeah,
because obviously the premise is very frightening,
yeah,
gives me that kind of icky existential dread
yeah,
feeling that
yeah.
sci-fi tends to give me. But then once Rocky comes along, I'm like, all right, this is good now. I can enjoy this.
I think for me personally, I enjoyed that part as well because it's just so fascinating to see how Grace solves all these problems.
I did enjoy his experimenting with
Mm,
the astrophage. I thought that was very
yeah,
fun and very interesting.
and the fact that the timeline keeps changing between the current, like the present, and when he was back on Earth researching, it
Mm,
was you can see both progressing at the same time. How the mission is progressing on Earth before the launch, and how in present he's tackling the problems that he's facing.
mm.
It was such a well written book.
It is. It's very well written. I don't think there was a section where I got bored after Rocky shows up.
Mm,
A lot of the like, because he does go into a lot of maths and a lot of
yeah,
just like scientific explanations of things.
yeah.
And sometimes I was like, bro, I believe you. It's okay.
But as someone who enjoys that science aspect of it,
Mm,
it jogs my memory of because we had to do a lot of these stuff in high school
mm.
and in middle school. Like it reminds me the time that I learned this in school.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
very refreshing.
Almost a
Yeah.
little nostalgic.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
You want to talk about any of your sciencey stuff?
Now I want to, but I think at this point it's yeah too detailed, and I don't want to bore anyone. So
Just give a little Spark Notes version. You know, some of the top moments that you thought that was really cool.
mm,
Or don't.
one thing. The concept panspermia theory.
Mm.
Do you remember from the book?
No.
So it's a real hypothesis. It's the idea that life or its precursors can be carried between worlds on
Mm,
debris. So some people question how, astrophages travel all these throughout the whole universe, eating stars everywhere. So it kind of acts on that panspermia theory.
mm,
And also the fact that even though the Iridian physiology and human physiology is obviously very different, there are some similarities as well,
yes.
which sort of kind of supports the whole panspermia theory as well. It's like the Earth life and Iridian life and astrophage all share uh, it's like similar molecular machinery,
Hmm.
and so they may be sharing an ancestor. And I think some of this is mentioned in the book as well, briefly.
Yeah,
That
yeah, how
yeah,
it's sharing, like, a very early life source.
yeah. So the thing that carried life between star systems is maybe the astrophage because it's the only thing that makes the trip. So, well, yeah, that's just another tidbit of yeah.
Well, it's very fun, like, I'm sure there's a lot of really cool science shit that just went over my head because I was like, "I'm not interested in this, show me the little rock man."
Yeah. There are a few more, but I mean, because I'm no expert in science, so
Mm,
I don't want to give like any false information. But I do want to mention that a lot of premises in this book is based on actual scientific hypotheses or theories, which is why which is why I consider it a hard sci-fi. That everything's got its evidence and research and papers already on it. Andy Weir
mm,
is just building on top of it
yeah, which
in a
is
very
very
interesting
cool.
way. Mm, yeah. So how do you said you had to stop watching the movie.
Yes, I
Now,
did.
what do you now think about the whole book when you finish the book?
Well, I think what they did in the movie was very cool.
Mm,
They made it seem like Rocky was very definitely not going to survive in the movie,
mm, yeah,
and that tore me to shreds emotionally.
mm. Yeah, I thought he was gonna die too when I was reading the book.
When yeah, I feel like it's much worse in the film if you don't have the context of the book. Like, if you're just
Mm,
going into the film and that's all you know, they really play it up like, "Yeah, Rocky's dead, man." And I cried so hard. It was so awful for me to experience that. But in the book, I felt much better about it because Ryland is actively trying everything that he can to
yeah,
help Rocky.
yeah,
And he's still doing research while he's waiting for Rocky to recover. So it wasn't entirely focused on just Rocky's gonna die, man. It was
mm.
we're actively doing things.
It's just another problem solving that he needs to go through.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
he takes a much more active role in the book. And
that's
I
right.
really appreciated that because he's really trying his hardest for his friend.
And another just minor thing, the what Grace and Rocky did in First Contact, they start with numbers
Mm,
because mathematics is the only thing you can assume is shared between different species or different races or different like alien species because they say mathematics is the universal language of space. So I loved how the fact that they first try to establish the what base they're using and they start from the number, by sharing clocks and all those things. It seems very neat.
yeah,
I found it very, yeah,
very,
interesting.
very cool. Like, because Rocky doesn't need a light source, you know?
Mm.
He doesn't see using light, and, of course, Ryland does, so he just sticks a bunch of lights in the tunnel that they create so that they can meet up, and Rocky's like, "What the hell is this shit?" So funny.
And I think Andy was such a genius because things like that it's very hard to imagine from Rocky's perspective. Like
Oh,
looking
yeah.
at our humankind from an alien species perspective.
Yeah.
And some parts it's mind blowing.
Hmm.
Like we never think of our human species in that way.
Yeah,
Because like
the creativity.
yeah, and Rocky obviously doesn't see visible light, but he s- he listens to things. So things there's no such thing as like surface or anything like that. When he works and when he builds something, he can see it inside straight away because he doesn't rely on the light. And the fact that he can't understand, I mean, both Ryland and Rocky cannot really comprehend each other's
Yeah.
like physiology, and it was fascinating.
Yeah, and, like, Rocky can't smell either.
Oh, really? I forgot that part. So you
Yeah,
can't smell
he
at all
can't
as well?
smell, and so
Okay.
at one point, I think he describes what smell is to Rocky as, like, tasting, but, like, long distance.
Oh.
And I'm like, "Yeah, how do you explain what smelling is?"
And also the because they Iridians, they communicate using the sound, right? Like in a like a what do you call it? Like bunch of sounds. What do you call it? Chord? Uh,
Different musical notes.
different musical notes. Yeah, like simultaneously.
Mm.
And when at the end of the book, when Ryland stays in Erid, teaches the kids, he uses like a musical instrument or
Yeah,
device to
like a little
communicate to them.
keyboard. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was
very
fun
cute.
too.
Also, there's one classic line from this book that I'm really glad that they translated it into the movie. It's when Rocky says, "Fist my bump."
Yeah, and Ryland is like, "Oh, no, no, that's not how you say it, no."
Yeah, let's try that one again. It's just so cute.
Yeah.
It had that
The communication,
yeah.
that was gold. It was so cute. And asking, like, question at the end of the
Oh, yes, so
sentence when he wants to
endearing.
ask something, is cute. It brings back all the good memories of reading this book. It's such a heartwarming there were a lot of heartwarming scenes.
Yeah, I think
The
just
friendship.
the curiosity of Rocky and his complete willingness to just try.
Yeah, he's so cute.
Yeah, the ability to like, they figure out how to communicate, and as soon as they realize they have a common goal, they're like, "Alright, well, we're in it together now."
And then they joke around as well. They're like become real bestie.
Yeah. And how he learns to, interpret Rocky's tone and how he speaks lower when he's disappointed or he's scared, and he speaks higher when he's really
Yeah.
excited.
All those details. It's just that's so good.
And when Rylan goes too long without sleep, and Rocky says, "Grumpy, angry, stupid. How long since last sleep?" Question. I'm like, "Damn, call him out, Rocky." It's just yeah, it's really brilliant.
Alright, time for dosage. I mean, obviously, you know my rating.
Yeah,
It's devoured. If there's anything higher than D, I would rate it higher than devoured, but
yep. I have to give
it's
it devoured as well. It
oh!
okay. Are
Alright.
you a wolf?
Oh, no, no, no. No, that's just me cheering.
Ow!
Oh, yeah!
Um, yeah, the story was so heartwarming and
Mm,
uplifting in such an unexpected way. I really cannot give it anything lower than that. I enjoyed
yep.
watching the relationship form between Ryland and Rocky, and it was just beautiful. I cannot fault it.
I think what sold me the most was I loved that friendship between Roland and Rocky, and
Mm,
also at the same time, I love the science behind it, of the whole astrophage and how he's going to, travel there and then save the mankind.
mm,
That was perfectly balanced.
yeah.
Not done because if the science was too weak and if they focused too much on the relationship,
It
then
wouldn't be as strong as a narrative.
yeah, yeah, but it's perfectly done. My favorite one, top 1 sci-fi books I've ever read, hands
Yep.
down, and I
Absolutely
would
brilliant.
yeah.
Thank you for forcing me to read that. Because it really was just fantastic.
I don't know if I'll ever come across a book that will give me the same emotion, and the emotional roller coaster that I've this probably the first book ever that made me cry, made me laugh out loud, and terrified,
Yeah,
and so happy, all in one book.
yeah.
And this is a standalone as well. Like, that's saying something.
You experienced the full array of human emotion,
Yep.
and probably Iridian emotion as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a brilliant book.
This is why Andy Weir is my favorite sci-fi author, and I feel like Martian will be very close second.
Yeah, because, I mean, how can you beat Rocky?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was gonna say,
It's
the only reason, 'cause Rocky, it will be my number 1, 'cause he's my favorite
Yeah,
character.
he's one of the best characters that I've encountered in any piece of media, I think. He's just brilliant.
So what should we discuss next week?
Um,
Now, I was gonna
well,
say, we could do Tender is the Flesh.
I was gonna say because 'cause you're already reading a little bit of Tender as the Flesh, I could probably give that a quick reread to refresh my memory, and we could discuss
How
that
long
one.
has it been since you read it? You said you read it last year?
Ah, I think it's more like 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was quite a while ago, I can't remember exactly.
But I don't want you gonna be okay doing it?
Yeah,
'Cause I don't want you to reread the whole thing again, like, just for this.
I kinda need to I'll skim it. I just need a little
Okay,
refresh
alright.
'cause,
I'll
especially knowing what's coming, I feel like it'll be much less impactful this time around. It won't
well,
jar
true.
me as much.
Yeah. I'll keep you posted, my progress, 'cause I don't know, it's a short book,
It
but
is, but it's
I'll see how I go.
it's a very powerful book.
If I can't make it, if I can't finish it in a week, then we'll just
We'll
do
choose
something
something
else.
different, yeah.
Yeah. Alright. I think that's it for this episode.
I think so.
Wow, 2 hours.
Yeah. It just keeps getting longer, doesn't it?
I swear to God, every episode is getting longer and longer.
We've got too much to talk about.
I think we need to try to trim down a bit.
I think we do.
And then we get distracted too often.
We do, yeah. There's probably a 30-minute segment where I'm just talking about periods. Yeah, we definitely need to focus on that.
We'll aim to finish at 1 hour
Yeah.
mark from now on. We'll try our best.
Yes.
'Cause I know if it's too long,
It's boring.
you have to
Yeah.
it's hard to finish the whole episode, and it takes too long for me to edit it.
Yeah.
So alright, so next week, if there's no big change, we'll do Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Basterica.
Mm.
And yeah, that's your dose for this week. Take as needed and see you next dose.
Bye-bye.
Bye.